Hi, welcome back to the Free Swatches channel. This is the 10th video that we've made in the series about turning £100 into a Rolex wristwatch by trading watches up. And if you've been watching and following the videos before, you'll know I'm up to the stage where I've bought an Omega 30mm, which is a 9-carat gold English cased Omega dress watch. In the last video, I went through taking the movement apart and showing you the movement. And what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks is getting the watch ready. So I've been servicing the movement, getting the dial restored, polishing the case, polishing the hands, making it really presentable. So today I'm really excited to show you the end result because the watch is finished. So in a minute we're going to go over to the bench and we'll take a look and see how the watch looks now that it's ready for sale. Okay, so here we are at the bench, and here is the watch. I've completed the restoration, and I'm really pleased with the way it's come out. So let's just start by looking at the dial on the hands. So you see I've had the dial restored. It was a bit of a difficult decision because I always like to keep dials original if I can, but in this instance, as you might recall from the previous videos, the dial did have a fair amount of patina to it, which was quite attractive. It had some little sort of circular marks across the dial, but there was a scratch mark, sort of man-made scratch, which didn't look particularly appealing. So I made the decision to have the dial restored, and quite pleased I did because I really think it does look nice now. We've had it restored to the original sort of silvered finish on the dial, and it really complements the gold case and the gold applied indexes on the dial quite nicely. The hands are gold on these watches, and I've polished those as well to complement that, as well as the small seconds hand. One of the things that I think really makes this quite an appealing example of the 30mm are the applied the numbers and the battens on the dial, and the teardrop shaped battens here, like for example at 4, 5 and at 7 and 8, really do complement the watch well, and it gives it a kind of quite a substantial look to the dial, which is quite fitting really when we think about the way these watches are constructed. It's really it really is quite appealing. So yeah, I'm quite glad about the decision I made there. As far as the case is concerned, it's always a bit difficult to know how far to go when it comes to polishing a gold case. Gold is a soft material, and it does scratch and dent quite easily, but at the same time it polishes easily. And I'm always of the view that when you have a watch like this of a certain age, you don't really want to completely obliterate all of the marks. So my approach is to polish the case without really going too hard on it. So hopefully you can see that it's not hasn't been really sort of rounded off. It's just had a very light polish. You also notice on the side here I've got the correct Omega crown now. So you can see from the side of the case we've got the new Omega crown on there as well. That's great. So if I just turn the watch around now, you'll notice from the back that I've lightly polished the case back. It's a nice 9-carat gold case, and the back's now looking quite in keeping with the rest of the watch. So next thing to do, I'm going to take the case back off, and we'll have a look at the movements, and I'll talk you through the numbers inside the case back and on the movement, so we can tell you how old the watch is and that sort of thing. Okay, so here I've got the case back off, and we can have a look at the movement now that it's been restored. The first thing you'll notice is that obviously they do clean up very well, for want of a better expression. The movements really do look lovely and bright after they've been serviced, and these movements really, the quality of them shines through. I talked through this in more detail in the previous video about just the sheer quality and the attractiveness of the design of this movement, the Omega 265 caliber. But just to reiterate the fact, now that it's been serviced, I think it just looks even better, and there really are lovely movements, and this is a very good example. On Omega movements, all of them have an individual serial number, and you'll see a number here just below this, just here, and that number starts with 13.1. So this dates the watch to 1952. At that period of Omega's production, they were just starting to increase the numbers of production after the war, and 13.1 indicates the watch was produced in 52, because 13 actually covers the period 1952 through to 1954. But being a low 13 million serial number, this is clearly well within 1952 production. Obviously the watch would have been then, the movement would have then been shipped across to the UK and then cased into this English-made Denison case. So you would expect the watch to have been sold in the UK market from 53 to 54, something in that region. But their production certainly picked up, and not further forward from here they were then selling over 1 million units a year, and so you'd see that the production number would actually change incrementally. So 13 would be for 1 year, 14, 15, 16, and so on. But yeah, it's a really lovely movement. As you can see, it has responded really well to the service. It's in very nice condition. You'll see I fitted the watch to this tan lizard strap, which I think which does complement quite well. I always try and find a strap that's sort of vintage in its appearance, as it were, something that's sort of in keeping with the age of the watch, and certainly quite pleased with how this one matches up. Right, we'll have a look at the Caseback now. So here's the Caseback. It's got a lovely engine turning inside the Caseback. It's marked Denison, being a UK case, and it's also hallmarked in the middle here. The hallmark is 375, which is for 9 carat gold, and it's the Birmingham Assay Office, which is the usual assay office that you would see on a Denison case, as they were manufactured in that area. There's not much else to say here. We've got a couple of case numbers which relate to Denison production, but it is certainly, you know, as I've mentioned in the previous video, fantastic quality case, and the back is equally nice quality as well. But it's also just nice to show you the numbers as well as part of the video. Just to also mention that I've sourced a suitable buckle for the watch. I did think about investing in a 9 carat gold Omega buckle, because I thought, well, that'd be really nice to match that to the case. But the problem was that they come up about £250, and as I paid £400 for the watch, it felt a bit excessive. So what I've gone for is a gold-plated Omega buckle. These are aftermarket buckles because Omega no longer produce this style of buckle, which is what would have been fitted to the watch when it was new, with the large Omega logo on top. So my way of looking at it is that it may be reproduction, but it's certainly more in keeping with the watch, and if it's the only option there is, then we'll have to take that option. But I think it does tie in quite nicely, and it's a bit like fitting an Omega crown to a watch. It's certainly nice to have those little details for completeness, so that the watch does feature suitable components to match up with the manufacturer, which is what we've done here. Well, thanks for sticking with me through the video. I hope it was interesting for you to see the end result. I'm really pleased with the way the watch has come out. It is a really attractive watch. And as I mentioned, it's got a hint of a sort of Patek Calatrava look to it. I think it's a really nice dress watch. It'd be nice to keep this one, but obviously we need to move this on in order to get to our target. So what I've done, I've actually listed the watch on eBay, as I always do, and that's what we've done so far with the previous watches. You'll be able to find a link in the description if you want to have a look at the eBay listing. So it's live now for 7 days, and the eBay sale will finish next Friday. The other thing to mention, if you haven't subscribed yet, please feel free to subscribe to the channel, because it really helps us along. Just hit the subscribe thing, and then there's a bell that will ask you if you want notifications. So hit the bell for notifications, then you'll know when the next video comes out. So moving forward, I'm really hoping that next week we're going to get the watch sold on Friday, and we're going to be able to look at the numbers again in more detail. How did I get on with this watch? You know, how much did it cost, and how much did I sell it for, and have we made a profit, and how we're doing on our way to actually buying a Rolex watch. So it's going to be interesting to look at those figures, and we'll be doing that in the next video. Thanks again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again on the next video. Bye for now.